Okay guys, real quick, not really a product review, this is just something I made, but I thought some of you might find it interesting. So this is a Chevy Trailblazer, and it's a really nice vehicle and a lot of cargo space in the back, but sometimes it's hard, you know, to just, if you're trying to carry a lot of stuff, you're trying to pile it and everything. So what I made, I think it took 1.5 sheets of 1/2-inch plywood, screws, just some simple hardware. I think they're 500-pound rated drawer slides, and I forget the exact dimensions because it'll be different for every vehicle. You'll just have to get the tape measure out and design it. But I want to say mine's about 43 inches across, and it fits in there really tight. So we'll just get into it. This one's less interesting, so we'll pull this one open. One thing to keep in mind with drawers, I'm parked on an incline right now, so I still have to design something, a pin or something like that, so the drawer will stay locked open. But in this one, it's not super interesting. I just use milk crates, and then once I get a layout figured out, I'll put in like dividers. But in the back here, I just have a lug wrench, oil, brake fluid, coolant, I think transmission fluid, some spare belts, some spare hoses. In this one, this is a second, just factory bottle jack. The first one's under the rear seat. And then this, a lot of people don't know what this is. This is a super siphon, I think is what it's called. And it's a tube you shake to siphon fuel or water. You just want to make sure if you use it for fuel, you don't use it for water afterwards. And then I have a safety vest. These are really cheap. This one I believe I got from work. It's kind of nice. It has a zipper instead of Velcro. And just for any type of roadside emergency, you could probably even wear this like if you went camping or something like that too, and you needed to wear blaze orange. This is a tool bag from Blue Ridge Overland, and I'll do a separate review just on that, but it has a lot of nice tools. And then this, it's one of my favorite axes. It's the Wetterlings forest axe, but it fits in here nicely. It's not a full-on felling axe, but it's pretty handy. If you're going to do a lot of felling, you'd probably have a chainsaw with you. So that's in there. At times I have a pair of loppers in here on the side. I find those really practical. And then like sometimes I have a saw in here, like a bow saw. And then we'll switch this way. So this one's a little more interesting, and might be hard for me to hold it open because it's pretty heavy. Like I said, the drawer slides, I believe they're rated to 400 pounds a piece, and I don't think I'm anywhere close to that weight rating. So the dimensions of the drawer, again, doesn't really matter. So in here, this is a repurposed, like a DeWalt Power Tools plastic case that they come in, and I just spray painted it. And you guys can probably guess what's in there, but surprise, a pair of jumper cables. And then I just use this case because I had it laying around. I never keep like power tools in their factory boxes, but it's fairly waterproof. And maybe you could take the jumper cables out and repurpose this for something else. And then this is tire repair air pump, which I'll get into. This a lot of people don't know about or probably carry with them. James King, Oregon. They're pretty much safety triangles. 3 of them. Most commercial vehicles, DOT, heavy vehicles, by law in most states require these. This is a tree saver strap. It's about 8 feet long, rated to 20 or 30,000 pounds. But if you had to like winch yourself, you could put this around the tree to protect your winch cable. And you could also use it if you needed to like pull a vehicle out. You don't have a lot of distance, but that could be used for that. This is it's called a kinetic energy rope. I believe it's the 7/8 diameter or 3/4. And the trick behind these, I can do a video just on this if you want to know more about it, but there's weight ratings And the whole point is it has elastic in it, like a giant rubber band. And a lot of people make the mistake of getting too thick of rope. This one's rated to, its breaking strength 19,000, and I forget its working weight rating, but you always want to do double to triple, and you don't want to go over that because you will get a stronger rope, but it defeats the purpose of having that built up energy. And pretty much what this is, it's like a tug rope, so you can get some speed up and pull another vehicle out, and they won't feel as much the jolt, and it protects the vehicle from damage. And then in here, this is a custom leathercraft bag. It's kind of chintzy. Maybe I should upgrade this. It has a second tree saver strap. I want to get in there a bit. I'm not going to pull all this out. It has a second tree saver strap. This is like a cheapo 20-foot nylon tow rope, which could also be used maybe as a tree saver strap, but it is kind of stretchy. This is for my winch. This is just a hook and pulley. And then these are called soft shackles, and they're made out of steel. And these are used in place of metal shackles. They're just safer. And again, these are rated to, I think, somewhere around 30,000 pounds, so kind of overkill. And that's all that's in that bag. What's in here, and I can do an individual review. This is a hand winch. It's called a Wyeth Scott more power puller. It's a come along, but the difference is it has steel blue line, so it's a lot safer, lighter. The other thing is, I forget the weight rating. It's a 3-ton, but then when you use that pulley that it had, it doubles to 6,000 pounds. And then what people don't realize is if you're pulling a vehicle, that rolling mechanical advantage, you can technically pull closer to 12,000 pounds. And I've used this a couple times to like pull out machinery out of like stuck mud, but I haven't used it on a vehicle yet. But what's in here is just change this. That's what it looks like. This is the mechanism, or the come along. It has an extension handle / spare handle for more leverage, and this is that steel blue 5/16, and you have about 35 feet, which is an advantage to most come alongs, as most come alongs you can only go about 8 feet. It is a little more expensive than most, but you know, it's a good alternative to having a heavy manual. So close this. So this ammo can, I don't want to get it super wet. I labeled it tire repair and air pump, so it's pretty self-explanatory. The reason I use the ammo can, for this is, one, it's waterproof, but the second thing is this air compressor, if you're using it for extended time, it can build up heat. So if you have it in like a nylon bag, you might melt the fabric. You can get maybe a little closer in the camera. So I'm not going to take it all out, but it's a Vi Air. I'm gonna have it packed in here special. It's a Vi Air 88P. So I got that off Amazon, so I'll leave a link to it. You can see it in there. So the air compressor, and this type, if you buy one of these, try and buy one that you connect straight to the battery. Some use the cigarette lighter, but then there's like fuses, and it's really easy to kind of overpower that fuse and pretty much have a dead air compressor. And then, so this is the hose. It's pretty long, maybe 20 feet, and what I like is it's not one of those chintzy kind of yellow coiled ones. It's a thick, like industrial grade air compressor line. And then this, it's made by Smittybilt, and I'm surprised more people don't have these. I've never really seen people do videos on it. This cost me $10, surprisingly. And it's a bag, pretty much everything you need to patch a tire. So it has instructions in case you don't know how, but it has the reamer, the punch. This wire is if you have like a torn sidewall, you could do some like impromptu sewing. You have the rubber cement, you have a tire gauge, a pair of needle nose. They're kind of chintzy, but you know, they'll work. These are just the other components. And then this tool here, I think these are called the stem valves in there. And this tool is actually used to remove the old stem valve and put a new one in. And then in here, I'm not going to take it out, but you have these like vinyl patches. This is a razor knife. And then you have this big bundle, you can see them in there. There's like 20 of them maybe, but they're these gooey sticks that you use with these to fix a puncture. And you get all that for, I believe it was $10 or $15. So that's pretty cool, and it comes in this nice pouch. And then I packed it with my air compressor because it just seemed like those things went together nice. So a couple other things that I have in here, not really related to the drawer, but this is a heavy duty winter jacket, and it just has some different like survival type things in the pockets. And then down here I have a Thermarest Z-Lite sleeping pad. The reason I have it in here is because it was an extra one. It was taking up space inside, and I like it more than the rolling ones because it's easier to pack and easier to store. But that's a really good sleeping pad, and it's I think $20 or $30. And then I don't know if you can come in here a little bit. There's this secret compartment here. Not super secret now because I'm telling you, but you can reach in here, and what I have in here is glow sticks, Siloam like military grade snap glow sticks. I believe 4 of those, and then I have road flares. Okay, and this last thing, got them out of that little compartment. They're 15-minute road flares, and not only for like emergency signaling, but also if you needed like a really foolproof way to like start a fire, if like everything around you wanted a campfire and everything was covered in snow or something like that, or everything was wet. These pretty much burn super hot. There's probably magnesium and stuff in them, but there's instructions on the back. And these aren't as good, I guess, as like an aerial flare, but they're inexpensive, and you know, I'm sure you could like think of other uses. So I have more stuff in here that's not really in the drawer, so it's not super relevant to the video, and it kind of changes through the seasons. Like right now, we're out kind of in the woods, so we have this packable aluminum shovel made by Snow Joe, and just got done using it, so it's kind of wet, but it's aluminum. It's really light in case you get stuck in the snow, and I think this is like $15. And then down there I have a pair of loppers that can cut large branches, full-size spare tire, and that's about it. So hopefully you guys like this video. Like I said, I don't really go into detail about building this because it's going to be different for each vehicle, but this carpet here, if you want to zoom up right in here, this carpet here matches pretty close to the factory carpeting, and I actually got this just in the carpeting section at Menards, so you could probably find it at Home Depot, Menards. You don't have to get like automotive grade carpeting, just get whatever matches, or you don't have to do carpet. The reason I did carpeting is even though I have privacy glass, it just blends in, so it's harder for people to see that there's a drawer in here, and then when this is closed, this exposed wood's all covered up. So in the future I could always carpet this, but it's kind of pointless. So hopefully you guys like this video. It was just kind of off the wall. We're out in the woods, so I decided to do a video on it. But like always, go back to my homepage, watch some of my current videos. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe.